So, ahoy hoy, here we are then with part 2. As before, this isn't Straw, it's certainly not Parker. It is me doing something slightly different. This is an overview of my Morticians. Now, I'll preface this by saying I am not a good painter. I don't particularly enjoy painting. I struggle with it, it frustrates me. The models never turn out how I look in my mind, how I think they're going to turn out. But my Morticians I'm reasonably happy with because I've done a really simple paint scheme on them, and I think it looks alright. So, with that in mind, I apologise during this video, you are going to see my hand coming in and out and moving models about because I haven't figured out a better way of doing it yet. So, we'll remove Cookie, out of shot, and then have an overview of my Morticians. So, this little fella here, and this little fella here, it's just a bit of fun I had, making some influence tokens and goal influence. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. They're just zombies that I got from Mantics that I've played around with. This one's affectionately known as Mr. Cuddles. And this guy here, I haven't really got a name for him yet. I was thinking maybe call him the Head of William, because he's carrying a head there. I'm half tempted to paint that, maybe a bronze, maybe a gold, the skull that he's carrying, just to make it a bit different. I don't know. But, you know, throw me some thoughts, throw me some comments. Do you think I should? Do you think I shouldn't? I don't know how clearly you can see it. And then the influence tokens that I made are just, again, little zombie heads from the Mantics box set on a 15mm base. Just, I think it's a bit of fun. You don't need to do it, you don't have to do it, but I kind of like that about the Morticians. You can throw in zombies, and I love zombies, so why not? And that's just the ball token. I don't think I really need to say a lot about that. Try and get the gold token at the front. This is one of the great things about Guild Ball. I really like this, that there aren't official gold tokens. You do what you want, and I've seen some amazing gold tokens out there. This is just 3 zombies. Again, Mantic stuff, my thinking being, how can you score a goal when they're trying to push the ball out? Unfortunately, it hasn't really worked out for me that well, but hey, I quite liked it. So I'm just going to clear off these influence tokens. And some of the stuff, you can get the really basic, just plain 50mm base, and that's fine, or you can have a bit of fun with it. I like to have a bit of fun with it, personally. So, here's the guys, here's the gang. As you can see, I've got all of them except Rage and Avarice and Greed, but I will be adding them in because they're amazing. Now, I have got Obulus, but I don't use him. And I know people think he's great, and I think that is undoubtedly true. I mean, Steve Newton obviously has a great success with him. But I deliberately didn't use him because previously I was playing the Brewers and a Tapper Brewers team, and every time I put him on the pitch, the people just groaned because they were just like, oh god, Tapper. And I think the stats at Vengeance back up that there was 15 Tappers and 15 Obuluses, so I didn't really want to go for a captain who my opponents just did not want to see. I felt that with Tapper, my opponent's game experience wasn't particularly good. The momentous knockdowns all the time, and also I found that Tapper, I became quite one-dimensional. It seemed like the start of every turn, first or second activation, commanding aura goes up, in goes Tapper, deletes the model, or near enough deletes the model, and if he doesn't, Hooper goes in and finishes them off. So I wanted a team that was different. I had the Morticians, and they were basically painted up in a basic standard, so I thought I'd just go with them. I will at some point show you the other teams I've got that I haven't painted up. I've got the Masons and the Hunters that I'm sort of working on, but I'm sticking with these guys for now. I really want to try and get to grips with them. I feel that they're quite diverse. I can do quite a few different builds with them, and I like that. But yeah, so Obulus isn't captain. Well, I don't use him. I've used him once. But I wanted to use the lesser captain, or not lesser captain, but one you don't see quite so much, and that is Scalpel. Try and get her into focus. Now, I have to say, Scalpel obviously is very, very different to Tapper, and I love her. She's great. She just does she could do so much. She could score. She can really get in and cause problems. Her legendary, I'm just starting to get some work done with that actually. I'm starting to find some little tricks that you can do with it that I hadn't realised initially. And I really enjoy that. I really like that. I think she's a player whose name really suits the way she plays. She is a scalpel. She's not a blunt trauma instrument. She can't go in and take out a player who's on full health unless it's, say, a mascot. She's not that kind of player, but if you've got someone who's knocked them down a few points, weakened them up a little bit, she can go in. Her playbook, I think, is quite versatile. I think the magic successes are 3 or 4. With 3, you get your 1 point of damage and a push dodge momentous, and 4, you're getting 2 points of damage and tormented agony. And I think that's really her sweet spot. That's where she wants to be hitting. She's got a 3-6 kick. She's very manoeuvrable. I will go into do a more specialised tactical thing with her. So she's predominantly the captain. After her, I did write on the blog the other day, I was trying to have a core of players that I stick with and sort of swap out the others depending on who I'm playing. So Silence is in. I haven't not played Silence yet, just because it's the 3 influence, and I think in the Morticians there's a lot of, they've got more 1 influence players than any other team, or the access to more 1 influence players than any other team. I think Silence brings the extra influence that you need to get work done with them. I think giving him 3 a turn, other than maybe the first turn, is a bit of a trap. I think really I give him 1. I give him 1 and I'm either looking to do a shutout or a tucked. I only really use embalming fluid on turn 1 because it's a ranged play, and quite often I can't do a lot else with the influence. I think after that it can become a bit influence inefficient. It's too influence to do it. If it was if the AoE that remained in play was burning, I think I'd be all over that. I think I'd be definitely throwing that down everywhere, but it's poison, so you know, it doesn't affect people's movement. It's only 2 damage in the maintenance phase. It's okay. I mean, you can get the burning off still, but I prefer just either shutting out or tucking someone. Generally a captain, if you make the other team's captain go last, it can ruin the day. And with smoke, I generally try and tuck him, so he's got to go next or first or second, because if the AoEs aren't down, he can't chemical breeze them and he can't alchemy mix them, and I think that she can't even. Sorry. I think that reduces her threat and efficiency quite a lot. So Silence is in. At the moment, quickly we'll go on to the bird, because have you heard about the bird? Bird is the word. But in all seriousness, a much maligned mascot. I think he's okay. I don't think he's the worst one. He's not Salt for a start. He's great at fetching the ball, movement 10, that's 8-10, that's nothing shabby. He's got us a singled out on 1. I actually got it off in a game the other day. I counter-attacked with him against Brick, who was ganged up. Got the 1 success, put down the singled out, and that then allowed Gas to go in and get off the unmasking, which was great. The bird did die, but hey, I was happy with that. I think I took out 2 players with 2 unmaskings. So yeah, so the bird at the moment is in. Maybe when Valswarm comes out with Veteran Rage, I'll mix it up a bit, but Veteran Graves. But I don't know, we'll see. Valswarm needs some time on the pitch. Fangtooth, awesome model, just love him. I've put a little skull, another little tweak there, Mantix zombie arm with a skull, because anything you can do to make this guy look more horrendous is just brilliant. I must confess I've not used him yet. I want to use him. I really like him. I like the model. I like the playbook. I like what he can do. I like Gluttonous Mess. Haven't played huge amounts of games yet, which is probably one of the reasons he hasn't got a go yet. But I've just struggled to see where I want to use him. But he will get his chance, he will, because he's just brilliant. Another key player, or one of my core players, is Mist. Now, I'm trying to play my Morticians quite football-y based, and so Mist is in. Mist is just great. I haven't got as much work out of Mist as I need to. I'm still learning with him. I've only played him a handful of times. He has scored for me I mean, he's got so much influence and so much threat range. He should be scoring every turn, unless you're Straw, in which case he could have a kick of 8, 12, and he'd still manage to not score with him somehow. I think I'm a little worried about him being too fragile. I maybe don't commit him enough. 5s and nothing is good, but then he's only got 10 or 12 health, I can't remember. I am worried he'll go down in a stiff breeze, or even a mild breeze. But he's in. He's one of my core players. I don't think I've dropped him since I've got the model painted up. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Another key player, #Playgraves 2016. Not my favourite this model, but I know Jamie Perkins is a big advocate of him, and I'm really starting to get things done in him. He's got a tackle on 1, which is great. He's got a good kick on him. He can get around. One of the things I like to try and do is use embalming fluid to take damage off someone, and then Graves can get in there on turn 1 possibly if they're out of position. If not, Ghast, Momentous knockdown on 2, but then he's got the 2 damage and a knockdown on 3. So if he can put them on their arse with 2 points of damage, Graves comes in with his extra +2 charge. I'd like to try and get Graves in at the end of the turn. I like to get him on the charge because then he can get hopefully Rabid Animal and the Wrap for a point of damage, so then that's 5 points of condition damage in the maintenance phase from bleed, because he's got Crucial Artery and the Rabid Animal giving out poison, and that's just brutal. If you can get that in on the last activation on a turn, or on a player that's activated already late in the turn, great, I'm all for that. So he's in. He has been dropped, I don't think, for a while. Ghast, the Great White Ghost. Possibly the main reason I picked up the Morticians. He is so frustrating to play against. So frustrating. He's up there for me with Vitriol and Shank, just for the dickhead players in the game. Just amazing. Like, some people don't seem to rate him, but he only brings 1 influence, but as I've touched on with Silence, he gives me the influence to allow these players to do things. 2-inch melee, especially as that's not so common in Season 2. Fear, you've got to use an extra point of influence to do anything against him. It's great if I sometimes try and play it, so if I see a player who's got 2 influence on them and I think they want to charge, I put Ghast in the way to block the charge lane because they can't then charge him. Anyone who wants to do damage to him, I'm getting 2 momentum for it. Brilliant. 21 health, awesome. I mean, if they don't take him out in 1 turn, then it's just extra influence and extra momentum for me, and I'm all happy for that. His playbook, I think I realised on Saturday when we played that actually, really, he only wants 1 influence, perhaps 2, because his momentum generation on his playbook's not great. He's got the Unmasking. I think that's on 5 successes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 5. So on attack 6, unless they're a low defence model or you've got some crowding out or singled out or something, it's going to be reasonably tough to get off. The Momentous knockdown on 2, I think, is where it's at really. I want him in there, putting someone on their arse, tying them up. I mean, if he can just tie people up, he's so frustrating. So he's in. But what I did do on Saturday is, on occasion, I will swap him for Bonesaw. Now, I know Bonesaw, he's one of those players who he's a Marmite player. I think people either really get work done with him or can't get work done with him. I think if you're playing Scorticians, he's in, which is generally Scalpel, Graves, Bonesaw and Mist. He's got great manoeuvrability, he's got a good kick on him, like the best kick out of non-union Morticians. But I think I need to play him a bit more. I need to get more work done on him. I haven't actually scored with him yet. I tend to use him and Graves as to sort of go in, get the ball off people and then recycle it back out to either Scalpel or Mist to go and get the goals done, because they just seem to do it a bit bigger, a bit better even. I think the fact he's on a 50mm base and he's only 1-inch melee means he struggles to get around as much as other players. I know he's got his heroic, and the name skips my mind now. I can't remember what it is where he can ignore other players' bases. But he's still on a 50mm base, and you know, Mist and Scalpel can just get in, get around players, get where they need to be. But I'm giving him time, and I'm going to get stuff done with him, because I think there's more to him. I think he can get stuff done, and I hope to unlock more with him. So he gets used a bit. Then we're on to the 3 players who I don't really use a lot. I probably should use a bit more. I like Minx, I like Furious, I like that she's a 2-2. Her momentum generation is pretty awesome. I think she's got momentum on 4 of her 5 columns. She's got a nice, I think it's 3 damage and a double dodge on her 5th column, which is pretty good on the charge. She charges for free, which is good. I think she's got Smells Blood, I think that's what the ability's called, which allows her to charge an extra 2 inches against a damaged target. Or maybe it's called damage target. I can't remember anymore. But she's really good at, like, if you're playing a takeout, or you're looking to get a couple of takeouts, she's great at going after the player who's come back onto the pitch. They're on low damage, low health. She's got that extra charge range. She's a threat, and I have used her a bit. She's also a 2-6 kick, which actually in Morticians is, you know, not terrible. It's not the worst by a long way, and so she is a goal threat as well. I think I've used her once, maybe twice. So she gets occasional use. Cosset. Now, Cosset, the reason I think Cosset for me doesn't get as much game time is because I've got Minx as well, and Cosset's just that little bit more fragile. She has got the potential to do a lot more damage, because with the bird she gets +1. She's got Lure. I probably don't use that ability enough or well, but I just find that I'm scared to commit her. That 4-0 with 12 health, she's just such a glass cannon. I know Minx is 4-1, but actually I find quite often 4-1 against someone who's only TAC 5, they may be getting 2 successes, maybe 1 off that, and then that just seems to make a bit of a difference for me. So Cosset, I think I'll go over my tournament 8, because we've got a tournament coming up soon on the 16th of June. I think it's the 16th. It's at Athena Games, so I will quickly go over what I think my tournament 8 is going to be for that. Last man standing is Casket. Casket, I want to use him more. Awesome model. I mean, look at it. I know my painting's not great, but just look at that. Oh, he's got a casket on the back. It just looks amazing. He's such a unique little creature. Foul odour as well, the same as what Fangtooth has got. That's great for board control. You've got these 2 guys there. You spread them out like that. Make sure they're 3 inches apart from each other. You've got 3 inches this side, 3 inches that side of rough ground. That can really cause problems for people who want to get around the board. Tough hide as well, I think, if I remember rightly. I can't really comment too much more on him other than that at the moment, because I just haven't used him enough. But I do intend, like, I got very stuck with my Brewers using the same players all the time. It was always like Tapper, Hooper, Friday, Mash, and then either Spigot or Stoker if I was playing against Smoke. I don't want to let that happen with this team, because I've got these models. I'm going to add in Avarice and Greed and Rage, and I want to use them as much as possible. So, going over just to finish up on my tournament 8 that I think I'm going to take to Norwich, to Athena Games. Scalpel, obviously, as I've covered, is the captain. She stays, she's in. Ghast, absolutely, 100%, the Great White Ghost. Not a chance that he's not going. Hashtag Playgraves 2016, definitely. I think he can get work done in either a scoring team or a takeout team. Mist, absolutely, as covered, great striker, gives me the speed that I need. Bonesaw, if I'm playing perhaps the Fish or a footballing team, that extra ability, that extra speed, the extra guy who can get the tackle in. Football Dervish as well, perhaps I can get some use out of that. Dirge, obviously, no option, got to be in. What am I up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6. I think then Silence, obviously. How could I forget that? Silence is golden. undoubtedly, as we've already covered, for the influence, if nothing else. 2, 4, 6, and then I've been having a bit of debate, and maybe you guys can drop some comments in the bottom and help me out on this one. I'm thinking Rage, because I think tooling up Scalpel could be a thing. It could be a thing that I'll talk about in a more Scalpel specific video that I'm planning on doing soon, but I think that could be a thing, particularly with her legendary on the first turn, bringing someone in, like that could be a thing. If not, it's probably going to be one of these two, one of the crazy gang, one of the girls. Again, if I'm playing Masons, they have a use, because that will then give me Scalpel and one of these two who will ignore Charmed Mail and Flint, which then means he's a 3-1, or against Scalpel he's a 3-0. So that could be a relatively easy takeout. I tend to try and get 2 takeouts, two goals, although on Saturday I was getting quite... I think I got 2 wins with 3 goals in each, I think. I can't quite remember now. So yeah, so possibly one of these two. I'm not too sure. I'll probably have a little bit of a chat and start a bit on the forums, see what people's comments are, see what people think. As always, I'd love your suggestions. I don't think I'll have Avarice and Greed ready by then. I don't think I'm going to get them in time. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there, because my wife has just knocked on the window about 5 minutes ago telling me tea's ready. So I need to go eat that because I'm hungry. So I really hope you guys got something out of this. I hope I haven't talked too much drivel and it's not really dull and an interminable boredom and you'd rather stick needles into your eyes, or if you have them, nail your testicles to a desk, and if you haven't got them, whatever the female equivalent to that would be. So please do drop me a comment, drop me a like, drop me a line on Twitter, start a chat, see what you think. I am going to call it there, so thanks a lot for your time.